Hi everyone, and welcome inside of the kitchen here at Prestige Wealth Management Group. I'm Michael Williams. First and foremost, we want to make sure that everyone is staying safe and healthy at home. We decided to shoot this video because we're hoping to give you guys something a little more fun to kind of take your mind off everything that's going on. In that same line, if you guys have the ability, I encourage you guys to support small businesses in your area. They've been disproportionately affected by this virus. And joining me today is Jonas. He is the executive chef and owner of 55 Main, located right here in Flemington, New Jersey. And he's gonna walk us through a fun fall recipe for a soup and also how to trim up a tenderloin for an appetizer or an entree. So Jonas, go ahead and take it away.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you for the introduction. Again, my name is Jonas Gold, chef owner, 55 Main. They're gonna go back there, so I think we can get rid of the mask and lighten it up a little bit. So, as you said, we're gonna do two things today. We're gonna start out with a nice fall pumpkin soup. Everybody's staying home now. Everybody's trying to be the chef at home, make their own recipes and everything. So here's kind of a simple one that they're gonna follow up with a recipe card later down the road to guide you through it as well. So again, a nice simple pumpkin soup. We're gonna start out with a little bit of corn oil. I got a nice hot pan here, just a little bit of oil in the bottom to coat it, get it going, give the vegetables a little something to cook in. So we're gonna start out with our standard mirepoix. Pretty much you start all your soups with that. Onions, celery, and carrots. Again, your standard mirepoix, you're starting pretty much all your braising items, your soups, all with this mixture. 50% onions, 25% carrot, 25% celery. And then again, we want to season everything in stages. A little bit in the beginning, let it cook with some of the spices, and then at the end, we finish it up. One thing to cooking everybody wants to do right away, grab the pot and let it sit. You hear that sizzling? That stuff's gonna start to caramelize. That's where all your flavor's gonna come from. Everybody wants to flip it around and show everybody their skills. Half of it winds up on the floor, half of it's in the pot. So this way, Mike doesn't have a big mess later to clean up when I'm gone. We're gonna add a little bit of garlic and a little bit of ginger. Again, just like with the carrot, celery, onions, we wanna cook that. We wanna get down on the bottom, brown it up, get some color. The more color we're gonna get out of that, the more flavor we're gonna get. If you just throw everything into the pot, it's gonna be soup, but you're not gonna get that deep, rich flavor that you're gonna get from developing the color and sweating down those vegetables. Another item we're gonna use today, we have the pumpkin puree. Now, we're going into the pumpkin season. You could go out and you could buy the pumpkins, peel them, chop them up, cut them, cook them down. You're gonna spend half the day to get this. You go over to ShopRite, you get a couple cans, you buy the puree already mixed. I would say look for all natural, and maybe look for something that isn't loaded up with all the seasonings already. Because as you see, we're gonna add these on our own. That way we can adjust as we like. The allspice, the cinnamon. If you buy some of these pie mixes that are already made, they already have that all in there, and you're gonna wind up coming out a little sweeter, I think, than you want with your pumpkin soup. So you hear it a little bit, you can see it, everything's starting to sweat down. All right, just cooking it down, get a little flavor going there. Another item we're gonna use today, coconut milk. I would say stay away from the Coco Lopez. Nothing against the brand, it's just, that's more for drinks. Whether you're making a drink, you want to find something a little bit thicker. Helps give the soup a little bit of body and thickness, and you won't have to use any thickener like a roux or anything. Because again, on top of this, everybody eating healthy, everybody with that gluten-free thing, this soup we're making today will be gluten-free and vegetarian. So we're gonna add a little bit of vegetable broth. Again, your vegetable broth, we're just gonna boil some water. Again, the mirepoix, a little bit of bay leaf, little peppercorn, bring it up to a boil, let it sit, and then just strain it. The coconut milk, and then our pumpkin puree. All right, it's important now when you get this pumpkin puree in there in the beginning that you want to give it some good stirs, because otherwise it's just going to sit right to the bottom, and that's going to be an easy way to burn it. So you want to make sure that this is kind of getting mixed in there with the liquid, so you don't just have one big chunk of pumpkin puree on the bottom. All right, we're going to let this cook. And again, we're going to season it a little bit now. And then at the end, add a little bit more. I have some ginger, allspice, a little bit of nutmeg, some cinnamon. All right, and remember we put the salt and pepper in there a little bit before. So we're gonna let this sit, let everything come together, let the vegetables cook, and then we'll get back to this in a few minutes. So in the meantime, we're gonna work on some beef tenderloin. Everybody's always asking at the restaurant, oh, I see these great deals at ShopRite or Costco or BJ's. They're selling the whole piece of beef tenderloin, but we don't know what to do with it. We get it home and we don't know where to start. So here we're gonna have 2 pieces of beef tenderloin. This is something that you're gonna find at the market, whatever it is, Costco or whatever. And again, you're gonna say, wow, man, it's very relatively inexpensive. How come I go to the restaurant, it's so much? This is all the work that we gotta do. This is what they call the head of the beef tenderloin, all right? On here, you're gonna have 2 pieces that we're gonna take off. All this stuff here, they call the silver skin. This is something you wanna get rid of completely. This is pretty much the only thing that's really inedible. There's a difference here between good fat that we can use later on to make hamburgers, stew meat or something, and then the silver skin, which if anybody knows, has had it in their mouth, you could chew and chew and chew all day and it's not going anywhere. So I can't even tell you how many of these, so I kind of know how to take it apart. Again, we're taking this silver skin off, and again, this stuff is really not edible, so we want to discard this. On this side here, again, you'll see I'm taking it apart a little bit with my hands, getting in there with the knife. We got this good meat underneath this silver skin, so we want to get rid of this. Now we're going to keep this. It's what they call a chain. Runs all the way down the side of the beef tenderloin. We're going to clean this up again. And again, you'll see as you're cleaning it, some of this stuff, the fat looks a little bit different than the silver skin. This is good. You need some of this fat when you're making hamburgers, grinding it up for meatloaf or what have you. If it's all meat, it's going to be a little bit dry. So you want to incorporate some of that fat when you're grinding it up. So, you know, like I said, everybody says, what do I do? How do I make this into something that I could use on my barbecue out back? So again, here we have the whole piece. We have the 2 sides. All right, we took these off. This is where your nice filet mignon comes from. You're going to cut nice medallions out of here. Then as you get down to the end, you have it starts to get a little bit thinner. So we're going to cut it off here. Again, save for nice filet mignon. These, you're going to cut in large pieces. Now you got beef stew meat. You got beef tenderloin tips in the summertime. You want to do a nice little salad, saute them a little bit, some salt, some pepper, hit them with a good balsamic vinegar, give a little glaze, put them over a salad, serve them with some rice. There's one meal you're getting out of there. Again, nice fat, good for the hamburgers. Grind this up with some of the other trim, make nice fresh burgers. All right, another thing to do with these, we're gonna cut nice pieces out of here again, just like we were gonna do before with the tips, except we're gonna cut these a little bit longer. Again, you could do a beef stir fry with this. You could do your a little bit of grilled on a salad, or you could take these a little skewer, and we're gonna put them on here like this. Marinate these, some garlic, some ginger, a little bit of sesame oil, some barbecue sauce. Throw them on the grill. you want to soak the skewers first, and then you got some nice Korean barbecue beef skewers. You go to the restaurant, they give you 4 of them, it's 12 bucks. Here I'm showing you how to make everything off the one package that we just got. All right, so out of this so far, we got the beef tips, we got the filet mignon skewers, we got our nice piece. Again, you see some fat around here. You're gonna save this, grind this up, you make your hamburgers, and now you have your true beef tenderloin, your filet mignon cut, the center cut of the beef tenderloin, which is the true filet mignon. So you can see our soup's starting to cook. Everything's getting nice and hot, cooking down those vegetables. Again, we just want to make sure it's not sticking on the bottom, constantly stirring it. To garnish the soup, a lot of places you're going to go to, they're going to put on this fancy term, creme fraiche. Basically, it's kind of like a sour cream. Some places make it from scratch with a little bit of buttermilk. A lot of places you're just taking some sour cream, a little bit of heavy cream, and again, I'm going to put in here a little bit of our fall spices, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of allspice, nutmeg, and you can see it's a little bit thinner than the consistency of a sour cream. We're going to reserve this and we'll use this on top of our soup for a little bit of garnish. Now the soup, got our fancy tool here. Stays together, will be even better. There we go. Again, we want to do this away from everybody and away from your heat. We're just pureeing. You put the wand right in there. You can hear it grinding everything up. As you can see, it's pureeing all the vegetables. Again, no roux in here, no thickener, all just fresh vegetables, the pumpkin puree. And you can see it's starting to get a little bit thick, a little bit more vegetable stock, or you could just take a little splash of water. If you used up all your vegetable stock, a little bit in there. We're going to adjust some more salt and pepper. That's it, we're just going to puree it up till it's nice and silky smooth. Now, if you're somebody that likes your soups a little bit chunkier, or some vegetables in them, take a little bit more of your carrots, celery, onions, make a nice little small dice, saute them up, and then just add them right into there. That way you'll have a nice little bit in there for garnish. Comes time to plate. And then again, we have our fancy creme fraiche. And you can put some here. Sometimes if it behaves, it'll let you pull it through and make a little garnish, a little decoration with it. If you pureed the soup a little bit more, it would let you pull through a little bit more. So here we have two simple things that we could do while we're home. Everybody's playing chef. Nice quick soup, beats the stuff in the can, and here we have the filet mignon, the beef tenderloin, utilizing what you'll see in the market and showing you how to break it down and use everything that you can. So thanks everybody for watching. Come check us out at 55 Main on Main Street in Flemington, and stay safe out there.
So this looks amazing. I know you can't smell it, but it smells amazing too. But just a couple questions I want to ask Jonas, I guess for the home chef. What are kind of the biggest mistakes people make when they're either making a soup or they're trying to cut up a tenderloin or even cook a steak? What are kind of the common pitfalls that people run into?
With the steak, I would say not taking that silver skin off.
Yeah.
If you don't clean it up, no matter how you cook it, what you do with it, you're always going to have that chewy, texture to it. So cleaning it up right, taking your time, utilizing it. Like I said, a lot of stuff can be ground up. So you can get a little mixer, you put it through there. Even if you put that silver skin in there, it's not going to grind it up.
Yeah.
You want to get rid of that. So the tenderloin, the main thing, cleaning it up good and not overcooking it. You got to remember, there's almost little to no fat inside this tenderloin. So it's right here. Most of that's going to get trimmed off. Inside there's very little marbleization, very little fat. So the more you cook it, the drier it's going to be. So, and again, the nice summertime, even in the fall, throw that on the grill, a little bit of rosemary, a little bit of garlic butter. That's all you need. If you got to hide it with all those sauces, maybe you didn't buy the right piece of meat. But the soup, everybody wants to rush the soup. They want to throw everything in the pot, cover it with water, go have a bottle of wine and come back. And it's got no flavor. You want to develop the flavors. Cook your onions, brown your garlic, brown your ginger, let that develop some flavor, let it marry together, and then add your stuff and just let it cook slow. Soups are meant to be cooked. Started out early in the day, boom, your whole house is smelling good. The kids can't wait to come to the dinner table, come together and eat, because the mom and dad's been cooking that nice soup all day, and the whole house smells like that. It's not meant to be boom, boom in the microwave, and here we go. But you get back to some of the basics, spending some time in the kitchen with your family, cooking, and next thing you know, we'll be beyond this. This whole.
So open the bottle of wine after you cook the soup. That's
a little before.
I mean, a little. I mean, you got to lube. You got to grease up a little bit. But
it always helps a little bit.
That's great. But we want to thank Jonas for joining us today. Be sure to check out 55 Main if you haven't already. It's kind of a staple here in Flemington. It's one of our Prestige employees' favorite places to go. I think my dad probably picks up from there 2-3 times a week. So it's good. And thanks again, everyone, for joining us. And we hope to be shooting more videos like this in the future. Something just a little more fun, since we're all trying to kind of get through this together. So thanks again for shooting more videos like this. A little more fun, since we're all trying to kind of get